going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the WrestlePurists podcast, episode 76. I think we're up to now. Joined by, of course, co-hosted by myself, Joe Hulbert, and of course Charlie. Alexia will be joining us shortly. She's just running home from work. You know,
pretty much.
a woman with priorities. But yeah, we're going to be talking AEW Dynamite and a few other little news things that have been popping up over the past couple of days. But yeah, first things first, please like, subscribe, super chat if you're feeling generous. Always massively appreciated. And yeah, man, Hulbert, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm fired up. Charlie and I have been studying Progress Wrestling for a while now.
Yes.
And,
Wow.
tonight is our chance to really dive into the details of the card and explore the kind of nuance to the promotion as it is currently constructed.
What's the?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
There's an event on Sunday. You have to play dumb. There is an event on Sunday at the famed Electric Ballroom. Okay. And it's a big deal. I mean, British wrestling's never been hotter. That's what I've been told. I'm here to talk about it, Money. What are you here to do? That's what we're here to do, right, Charlie? I'm correct on this.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Have you not done your research, Money? Have you not looked into this heated angle that's coming ahead this Sunday at the Electric Ballroom? There's a steel cage match, Money.
I want to know how they get in that
I hope
cage.
you enjoy it,
Yeah. Well, I won't.
you enjoy
Don't worry about that. But I'm very good, Money. How are you, mate?
I'm not too bad. Same old. Charlie, back again. Of course, it's kind of like a British invasion we've got going on until Alexia gets here and saves the people. How are you doing today, though?
I'm doing good. Yeah, the Progress show on Sunday is going to be interesting. I'm now going to bottomless brunch before it, so I'm going to have a great time either way. So, can't wait.
Oh,
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
doing good.
First thing I want to talk about was something that came out before we podcasted yesterday, but we kind of just I didn't get a chance to fully read through and all that good stuff, So we'll talk about it right now. Hangman Adam Page is in talks with AEW for a contract extension. AEW are trying to lock him down, man. No surprise to anyone. It is contract season. Obviously, Kenny Omega's contract has been a topic of discussion. So is the Young Bucks. Hangman Adam Page is now popping up as well. Big time, pivotal times for Tony Khan. He's got to get these negotiations right. I've never really been too convinced that there's any real possibility that any of those four that we just mentioned will actually leave. But that doesn't mean Tony Khan can kind of, not take these as seriously and not dig deep into his pockets if he needs to, Charlie, you think Hangman's going to extend, or do you think he's going to do something crazy?
I think he's going to extend. I think there's a pretty good chance he might have already, and that's why the news has dropped. But yeah, I think all of them are staying. I've said it again and again, and the fact that his contract is now in talks again, I think it's all just going to drop at the same time that they've all re-signed, after all their storyline stuff at the moment.
Okay.
That's where I think it's heading.
It's all going to be, everyone's going to kiss and hug, and
they're going to announce it all.
Elite,
that's what they're going to
do. Everyone's elite, again.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's try this again. All in.
Exactly. Just a reset for the company,
it's big times for the company, though, man. So there's all those contract talks that we just mentioned, and CM Punk's obviously looming. They've got a new Saturday show apparently that's coming. They've got all these huge stadiums. You've got this huge stadium show in Wembley. You've got pay-per-views, obviously, of course, Forbidden Doors coming up soon. It's Tony's got to get a lot of shit right, and we'll see what you can come up with, man, because he's a wild one. He's a wild one. Joe, how do you think Tony's gonna handle these pressures?
Well, that's a very loaded question to throw me here first up.
It's
I probably
5 minutes in, we're cooking, bro.
I probably deserved it for that progress bit, but I mean, I think you'll handle some well and some bad. Would be my assumption in terms of Hangman specifically. I think it's a rare case of a top star where like we can all pretty much unanimously agree this makes sense for both sides, right? Like you can talk yourself into most top stars looking the other way at least. Hangman, it's like even if that was the thing he was interested in doing down the line, it feels like the next cycle would make more sense anyway. You know, like there's still a lot for him to do, and I think there's still honestly room for him to kind of reclaim that position he had as world champion, where it felt for a moment like he was going to be kind of a promotional ace. I know people have wavered on that, and Monty, you're not big on that idea, but I still think he's one of the top candidates for that role, if they want such a role to exist. So, Hangman, I think, is cut and dry. I'm with you in terms of I've never really believed the Elite are going elsewhere, but there will absolutely be, there's going to be missteps in this next few months. They're just inevitable. There's so many landmines that they're trying to, avoid. So
big decisions to be made.
Yes.
Big offers to be made. A lot of tickets to sell. It's gonna be an interesting balance in it.
If I didn't know better, Monty, I would think that you are framing this conversation a certain way because the Dynamite review may kind of elaborate on your uncertainty as of right now.
What do you mean?
Well, I just sense some caution.
We're talking contracts. There's a lot of contract talk. Then you throw in a few other things into it. It's important times for AEW. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying.
As a friend of yours, and Charlie, you can tell me if I'm misreading this. I might be. I don't sense great confidence on your part in terms of Tony Khan's ability to navigate this situation. Is that?
But I did say I've never really thought the Elite are going to be going anywhere. So that implies that I think he's going to get that sorted. The CM Punk thing will be very, very interesting. How he balances that locker room dynamic and the Saturday show and stuff like that. What he does with Collision, if he can make it what it should be, there's a lot of stuff said. A lot of tickets to sell as well. I think again with the stadium show, Wembley at least, I think they're gonna I think they're gonna surprise a lot of people with the amount of tickets that they do sell for that. So when you break it down, as skeptical as it may sound, when you break it down, I actually do think it will tick a lot of the boxes.
Yes, I agree. I think, and we'll get into this as we review the show. The more interesting thing is the creative, right? As fans, especially, and as just folks that are trying to review the shows, it's like, I remember how it felt when Rampage was on the way. Dynamite used to end, and it was like, I cannot wait to see what they get, what they're doing next Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would announce the whole card, you couldn't wait. And when Rampage came around, it was really, I think it's easy to forget this now, it felt like a necessity. Like, it was like, they're going to add another show, and they need this extra hour. The show is already packed. I'm just, talking for myself. I don't get that sense around the looming Collision announcement. I don't get the sense of people watching Dynamite going, good Lord, give me another 2 hours. I don't think that's where we're at right now. So you brought this up months ago, Monty, but it's like to me, the biggest question about Tony is how he adjusts to that weekly schedule. Like, what does that look like? Does he just produce a second Dynamite every week?
Bro, I don't
know.
He's got to do something. He's got to look at it, big picture wise, structurally, like how he's going to cope with all this fucking wrestling, Never mind Fulham, never mind Jags, like all the shit he's got going on in wrestling is enough to drive, your average person crazy. And I get he's not your average person and he's up 23 hours a day and he's fucking, he's got his notebooks and he's flying through them and, he's doing this and he's got his billions and billions and he's not your normal, typical guy. But even still, come on, man, you got 2 hours of Dynamite, then you've got the hour of Rampage, you've got all the bullshit that you do on YouTube, which doesn't really mean shit to anyone,
You also got Ring of Honor.
Then you've got Ring of Honor as well,
Which, a lot.
Listen, bro. Joe, you know this as well as anyone, bro. I'm deeply connected to Ring of Honor, brother, and probably lying to myself at this point about the product quality, but I'm gonna keep being a Ring of Honor soldier. But even still, he's pushing me on that one. But it's a lot of TV, man, and it doesn't surprise me that there's parts of every show that you wish would be better, whether that's the women's division, whether that's I don't know, whether it's the pillar stuff like from last night, whether it's like this or that, whatever it is, whether it's focus here, focus there, focus there. It's not possible for him to do all this shit, bro. Like, it's not. So, I think Collision could do with being like, right, it's completely separate booker, like, or, same with Ring of Honor. But is that going to happen? Because Tony seems to be, he has a way of doing things, which is staying up all night with his notepad, with his lists and shit, with his lists and his columns. Bro, Joe, you'll probably remember the quote better than me, bro.
Yeah.
And he's talking about like how he switched the columns and the rows around, and it's now made booking easier for him. Bro, this guy has booked so much wrestling in such a short amount of time. It's driving him fucking mad.
He's going mental. He's just lost it.
God bless him, man, because he is, at the end of the day, he's trying to do great things for wrestling, and him being in wrestling makes it better all round, So always God bless, but fuck me, man. Get the dude some help, like, someone talk to him,
I don't know, Charlie. Where do you stand on like the overall kind of creative vibe at the moment?
It's there's bits that I like. there's a whole lot of it that's if I wasn't staying up for Dynamite, there would be a whole lot that I wouldn't watch, to be fair. There already is on Rampages. I watch maybe 15 minutes out of a whole Rampage at the moment, which isn't great. But yeah, they're a little bit lost at the moment, and I don't know why. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that he wants to do, that he wants to get right, but he's trying to do it all at once, and it's all getting muddled. He's trying to book top storylines for like 3 different parts of of just Dynamite right now, with like the Pillars, the women, and the BCC and Elite, and it's like he can't get all 3 right at the same time, and it's clear that he needs a little bit of help with it, but whether that happens or not.
And I know he's got his booking team, his QT Marshall and his Pat Buck, but like, again, like, come on, man,
Well,
like, one thing. Go on. No, go on, Joe.
I was just going
to be spiteful,
I think you can see him like adjust his approach as we go in ways that's fascinating to me. Like, he had that run at the start of the year. This was around when the cage match comment was made, where he just decided, I'm just going to give them crazy matches. There was that one episode where like Roosh and Danielson happened at the hour mark. It then switched into the Elite versus Top Flight and an AR Fox, and it was main evented. I forget the main event, but it was like a crazy show, and that was a kind of run. It was when Darby and Joe were working, and so on and so forth. And then, to me, it's like at some point it shifted to him trying to do like traditional US television, and now the wrestling has almost become secondary to like the stories he's trying to, and some of them successfully so. Let me be clear. I mean, we're going to put over the Blackpool Combat Club Elite business in a major way tonight, right? I think we all agree that's great. Well, some of us agree that's great, but but like, it's definitely, if you look at just the general match quality, it's like the focus has changed again as of late. Now, I haven't got a problem with it. I actually think in some ways that's a positive attempt to change things, but it also shows you, to me anyway, that Tony's not totally certain of like his own approach. Like, I think we've seen a genuine shift in that regard over these last few months, which is, I think, kind of gone under the radar, because there was definitely a time at the start of the year where he was just going nuts with star, match quality.
Cage match Tony.
Yeah. And I don't even say it to be like a dick about it. Like, it is what it is. I love those shows. I actually much prefer those shows to the ones we've got over the last month. Best, man.
I
agree, yeah.
I agree. Just do what it's what he's good at. He's good at just doing matchmaking and just booking like your one night cards, And he's like, you can do like your broad storylines. Like, of course, you're gonna have your world champion and you can have some belts involved and stuff. But like, you can still pull off shows like that. When he deviates, like you said, and he kind of does WWE light,
we saw that last night. For sure.
I just think it never comes off properly. The production is just not where it needs to be for a lot of these angles and stuff. It's just, it's just not good, bro. It's
I think
it's just not good.
Tony's trying to find a balance between pay-per-view cycles at the moment, because he started building to Double or Nothing already, which is a criticism that everyone had of Revolution, but the shows are suffering because of it. So it seems like he's definitely trying to find the balance of just booking crazy cards and then being like, oh shit, we've got 3 weeks to actually make a pay-per-view happen, to yes, we're 6 weeks out and the stories are like getting done, but are they good? Like, he needs to find the balance in between those, I think.
And I think it's a positive sign that he's seeking that balance, because he could definitely have, when he said the cage match comment, as much as I enjoyed those shows, my concern was that he was just kind of burying his head in the sand and being like, well, look, this audience likes the show and that's fine. It does show that he's playing around with it and trying to figure out the best way to kind of now, national TV, which is what this is. The question, I guess, is, to Monty's point, is he doing a good enough version of this to maximize the roster he's got? Because that roster is an all-star squad. And I don't think, even if you like last night's show, which you're entitled to, and you've liked the recent run of TVs, like, he is not maximizing that roster right now, right? I mean, not clean close, and it's hard to do, obviously, but it's just, I don't know. It's a really interesting time in that regard. And the reason we ended up here, my apologies, folks, I hijacked the show, but this is relevant when you talk about this, the upcoming months, right? Like, you got this Saturday show coming that's going to be 2 hours long. And it's like, it's impossible not to kind of look at that and go, well, that's going to be a challenge. Yeah,
we need to. I'll start a petition. I've got a platform.
What's the petition?
Get bro some help. Who's
the help? Who are you pitching though? Who you?
Oh, that's where it's just like that's where it's tough, because they're all in the WWE now. There's no Hangman's not on the market. Regal's not on the market. Fucking even Triple H, there was a moment in time where we thought he might have been on the market at some point. I don't know, man. I don't know what the chat's saying. Is there any good minds out there? And if anyone says Cornette, I'm just gonna ignore it.
Folks. Gabe Sapolsky is employed by WWE. I want to make it clear now before you all put his name in. I know you're all typing it.
He's in hot water, bro.
I'm sure, but I know everyone was typing it.
Getting cooked by Effie on the timeline every couple of hours. He's just smoking him, bro.
It's something.
It's incredible.
Oh man, that's what you get for being doing your wheels and deals in the early days as being a promoter, booker, man. But I don't know who's out there, bro. CM Punk.
Greg is
listen, bro. Listen, I think CM Punk. If it does become the CM Punk show, and it becomes kind of the thing where it's just kind of like CM Punk and Khan, collaboratively booking the show together, I think that could be a really good thing. But because I do have trust in CM Punk's creative, to be honest. I've not really seen anything to, deviate that opinion at all, to be honest. He came to AEW and he was cooking, bro, so so I just don't know. I don't know who's out there, bro. Greg Gagne,
Greg's out there. I mean,
here she is. We've got Alexia. There's no more British invasion going on. The resistance is here. What's going on, Alexia?
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi.
Wonderful.
Hi.
How you doing, Alexia?
Good. I'm trying to figure out if I can hear or not. I can hear. Okay.
All right. So while Alexia figures that out, we have got a build up of super chats. So there's a lot.
What is going on in this?
There's a lot of Princess Diana. So just warning you. If you're a fan of the royal family,
in
there's
the
a lot
last
of parody
20
accounts.
minutes, it was because I was reading the stupid.
I don't keep up with it. I just see the ones that I need to say for later.
No, because I was just reading them. I was just like, oh my god, there's so much happening.
Shout out to fellow Elite Law enthusiast Charlie. Oh, we're going to let Charlie get in her bag tonight when we get to the big angle.
I have a lot to say. I've got a lot to say.
Of course, always shout out Charlie. Dan Walker, £5. Appreciate you. Forget this fraud, Will Ospreay. The best ever UK wrestler, Nick Aldis, returns to Impact tonight. So, Joe, will you do a weekly Aldis segment on Mondays?
Weekly is I'll like check in every month, and try and. I feel like if I do every month, I'll be able to cover the main developments in Impact.
You'll check in weekly.
Sure.
I think you'll check
I
in
may
weekly.
check in weekly, but I may not update the people weekly. I feel there's a difference, Make them wait is what I'm saying.
That match review of his first match is going to be.
That will happen. Yes, that
probably
will.
will. It probably will. I can see it. Pylons, $5. Appreciate it. I like the Adam Cole segment overall, but Saraya should have used brass knuckles so Britt could get some colour. Listen, man, you're a gruesome dude, Want to see women blading national television, Harry Maguire, $2. Thank God AO's not here. Darren Walker agrees with his £2. Appreciate him too. All right, so this is where we get the royal family palaver. $4.99 from Henry Charles Albert David. Shout out to my WrestlePurists British gang. Y'all deaf better than them Wrestle Talkers. Elite gang or don't bang. Appreciate ya. You don't have to send shots at everyone else, so you can,
Right.
Heart editing, $4.99. Appreciate it. All British podcasting. Shout out to the homie Charlie. Keep up the good work, girl.
I am British,
Thank you very
guys.
much, Heart.
I'm literally British.
Yeah.
Part-time British, You coming all in, Alexia?
Oh. I don't know. No.
I've been trying to convince her.
She's trying to convince me.
It's not been working.
Oh, man. We need super chats. Let's get Alexia a flight.
Get Alexia to All In 2023.
Yeah.
Darren Walker, £5. Hi, Charlie. Hope you're okay. Will Arsenal win the league? I hope so.
God, I hope so, because I'll never hear the end of it if they don't at this point.
Listen.
If we lose tomorrow, I'm just giving up.
The tune's changed in the Arsenal fans, brother. You need to come together.
And I was scared.
You need to come get together and be loud and strong,
We play Man City next Friday. That's the scary one.
It's very scary.
Scared.
Very scary. Very spooky times for the Arsenal.
Very spooky.
Princess Diana, $5. Love to see an all English pod. Do any of you lovely young people know why my name has been trending this past week? No. And I'm going to leave it that way. I was trying to. Henry Charles Albert David, $1.99. Diana, can you let me out? I just want to do check mark. She says no, it's $2. This is there's a lot of back and forth here. Diana, whoa, that's basic. That sounds rationally motivated. It's not darling, I'm dead, I don't have a bank account. Diana, leaving me high and dry just like that, huh? That's wild. I'll pull one out for you, though. R.I.P. Princess Diana again. Oh, Harry, you need to thank your stars. Your brother is such a knobhead. All right.
This is great,
okay.
Guys.
I think that's enough of the.
That's enough of that.
If they're sending in the super chats, bro, I'll read them. I'll read them.
I noticed.
Bruh, $5. The show would be so much better if the pillar segments were 8-minute promos and not 15, 17. I'm going to speed through these. Already done that one. Showtime Spurs, $5. So you want them to maximize the roster, but I already criticized it in the 2-hour show.
Well, I was criticizing the show. I was more asking, is Tony equipped to book another 2-hour show? But,
yeah.
Heart editing, Alexia has ended the British supremacy. Appreciate the $1.99. She has, the resistance. All right,
it was getting very like miserable and British on here. We were like, I was about to like pull a newspaper out and see like.
Dan Walker, £2. Appreciate it. Proud WrestlePurists fan tonight because 2 women are on tonight. Listen, bro, inclusive podcasting, wrestling talk around here. Andrew the Giant, £5. I feel like the people are dreading this Saturday show like an Edge pay-per-view. Listen, I'm fired up, bro.
I do want to be clear.
I feel like
this is important. Go ahead, Alexia.
I was supposed to say, I feel like I'm really excited for it. Like I'm not one of those. Like I'm actually hyped.
It's worth noting, and I think I speak for Monty here, and Charlie. I'm not sure I'm not sure if you're on board. So I want to speak for you, but there is a very good chance that when this show actually gets going, the gentlemen in the top of the screen are going to become they could become monsters. You know, we might go full brand split and really refuse to cover the Wednesdays. You know, Monty's going to start tweeting banners, and it could get bad. So I want to be clear when I speak, I'm trying to be objective on a subjective level. You know, let Punk do his thing,
bro. Especially when EB's starting the Sunday podcast. You know, it's already lined up, bro. It's already lined up.
You know, CM Punk main events episode 1 with like Sean Spears, and I'm on there like, oh, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about the graps I saw. You know.
Oh man, this Saturday show, I'm fired up for it because I think Punk will be involved creatively. There's something he was involved creatively when he was fucking there before. You know, whether people want to, you know, admit it or not, he was. You know, there's a lot of their top guys that have Tony's ear. You know, some more than others, and Punk definitely had it for a minute. You know, obviously that doesn't mean that he booked himself and everything that he did. It's like the Hangman feud. That was that was something, but that's a story for another day. You know,
indeed, not today.
not today. You know, we're talking about positive stuff. You know, like last night's Dynamite.
Yep.
You piece of shit, man. you know what you did. Me, you know what you did.
I just want to talk recent graps, bro.
Oh.
You know, we got Rory Jennings with the €6. It's very inside, you know. Jay White and Sean Spears feuding together. What a delectable medley of wrestling splendor. Good stuff, you know. Don't know who for, but it's good stuff. Match Fan 84, 199, appreciate it. Is there a fan base more full of doomers than AEW?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. I was going to say football, so yeah, both work.
Arsenal fans.
Star Wars is a very good answer, to be fair. That's absolutely.
I've not seen all the Star Wars. Not all of them. Yeah. I don't think anyone has at this point. It seems like they drop something every fucking...
It very much has that wrestling... You know that thing in wrestling fandom where it's like the people who are negative have like a heated conflict with people that are positive because both of them assume the other one's full of shit, you know? You won't accept anything. No, you'll accept anything. They just yell at each other all day. That is professional wrestling conversational. That is the whole thing. So very wrestling for sure.
Look at you, boo. He came. It's like he saw the bat signal, bro. You know.
He just gets summoned by it.
I'll be honest. He sent a tweet the other day with, I guess it was like a projected Collision roster.
Oh my god!
I looked it up and down a few times, and I kind of thought, hold on a
second.
I find it. Some real music started playing in my ears, you know. It was a very special moment.
He's never beating the allegations that he hates women because there was no women on that list.
I do not co-sign that. That is for Ibu to tackle on his own, unfortunately. But you know, there was some good stuff. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, if he had presented it as a men's roster, then sure.
Yes, he should have been more specific. I agree. You know, as at this point, I should probably concede that I simply saw CM Punk and Samoa Joe on the same list and said, well, let me look into this.
Who else was on the list? I was like, Hobbs, Duck.
I'm gonna pull this up.
You're gonna like put this picture on the screen, like a screenshot of it?
No, I'll
present it.
I'm gonna present it like a professional.
Here we go.
Wait, what tweet?
Here we go, people.
This is projected Collision lineup here from the famed backup Hangman.
Oh, it's good stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Right, let me hold his comment. Is in House of Black. Yeah, saying that there's women in some of the factions he included. That's no. We're not giving him an out here.
We are, man.
We're not.
Because I like the look of that roster, and there's also women in the Jericho Appreciation Society. So I'd like to point that out as well. You know?
So he's got a whole load of free women.
Wow.
And how often do those 3 women in particular wrestle?
A couple debuts, you know.
My favourite part of this tweet is that even if he just tweeted it like this, like simple without the double duty part, someone replied, wait, MJ's not going to be on Dynamite? He's like, absolutely not doing this. I'm going to make it clear, double duty. Oh. Business maybe about to pick up, folks. I'm not sure what's going to happen here.
Oh no. But
Have you only just noticed?
yeah, but I was looking at the screen. Is he coming in? Is he coming in? I don't want to get the
He
people
was in
excited.
for a moment, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Yo. Yo in the
This is
building.
very irresponsible reporting on my little brother, on my son Ibu. This is not a projected roster. It's who he was told is going to be on Collision. So I'm only saying this because I said something, and then all these fucking weirdos start being like, "Oh my god, all of WrestlePurists hates women. Back up Hangman and all of WrestlePurists. They're just all misogynists." It's like, no, bro. It's just who he was told. Does Ibu hate women? Yes. But that has nothing to do with this list that he posted here. He wasn't told anyone was put on Collision. So maybe we need to look inwards. Maybe Punk hates women. Why doesn't Punk want any women on his show? Maybe we really need to get there. You feel me? That's all I had to say. Also, Harry Maguire, if I told you what I had to tell you, I'd be suspended 6 months.
Ayo, what happened to Man United?
I gotta go.
Alright, so Ibu wanted me to show the follow-up tweets, which are wow. So I have to go all the way back now to fucking, and the whole process is going to be documented live to the fans of WrestlePurists. You know.
This is just bad audio, folks.
This is terrible. Joe, feel that.
Okay. Well, anyway, folks, the roster did look pretty good, excluding the major omission. Again, I do not co-sign. Charlie, that looked like a show you would watch.
I mean, yeah, I would watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did it as well.
Yeah,
it's just there's so much wrestling on all the time.
There is.
Right, Ian and Caprice.
Okay, here you go.
Ian and Caprice, obviously. World-class commentary team right there, and it's Eddie Kingston. There's one
Eddie Kingston.
extra tweet for Eddie Kingston, you know.
That could be something like Kingston back in the game. That could be interesting. Could be interesting. We'll see. We'll let it play out, folks.
Absolutely.
They all seem like people that you would like to see be given a ball to run with, you know. Especially now after last night. Like, we'll get into it a bit more when we do the Dynamite review, which we need to do momentarily. But Hobbs, you know.
Yeah, we could hear you.
Okay. Sorry. I can't hear myself.
I feel so out the zone when I'm looking at the screen instead of like the screen for Twitter instead of the stream. Right?
Yeah, it's horrible. I'm with you. Anyway, folks, there it is.
All right.
Collision.
There it is. Ian and Caprice. World class stuff, you know. All right. We'll stop sharing that. Beautiful stuff. So who's punching the microphone? Something's happening.
That's me. My bad.
Punching is elite phrasing.
It's been a while since I did a podcast, so I'm like
going so big.
It's fine.
It has been a while, Alexia.
New
Too long,
contract.
you know.
Yeah, good stuff.
it was like since like Bola, like the week after
Oh
Bola
my
or
God.
something. So
Yeah, I think
we did. We did an ACA one just before Revolution, but it's been a while since then.
Yeah. Right, we're going to have it back though. You know, we need to run more. Mario Judah, 199. I personally cannot wait for AEW Collision. Listen, bro, I'm here for it, man. Cody Willis, 199. Here's $2 for a Monty cameo tonight on the Late Night Green. Sentimental stuff over there tonight, you know. Gonna go over there with a tear in my eye, you know. Harry Maguire, $2. Catch me outside in my car. That's big, man. Hey, man. Big Harry. He wants war. Anyway, let's get this off the screen. Right. Let's talk Dynamite, man. Let's do it.
Come on. Come on, let's do it. Come on.
Let's get into
Oh, fuck. And you remember what opens the show.
I've been waiting.
Right.
I know. We got to do it, man. We just got to pull the back.
All right, so AEW, where was we? We was in Pittsburgh. Which is obviously notably the hometown of Britt Baker. You know, she's she's the man round there, you know. She's the woman. She's you know, she's the one that people pay to see. You know, people love her. But anyway, people didn't pay to see this at the start of the show, I don't think. You know?
Oh God.
Alright, so the show starts off with Jungle Boy's music. So he gets to the ring, grabs a mic, goes to say something. He gets interrupted by Sammy Guevara, I think was next. He comes to the ring, goes to say something, gets interrupted by Darby. Darby comes to the ring, and then he starts cutting a promo on Sammy. Says that he's the person that he likes the most, but blah, 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 blah. And, like, that's kind of what it was. Like, I know I sound like I'm just being a cunt about it, but it kind of was a lot of, like, blah, 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 and a lot of kind of, like, a lot of shots that didn't land, you know, and a lot of, I don't know, man. I just want to see a bit of quality control. But anyway, they all kind of take turns, like having digs at each other, and then eventually MJF comes out, and he says that they're going to be doing a tournament to figure out who's going to be facing him at Double or Nothing. He announces that they're going to be doing a Pillars tournament, and one of them's going to be getting a bye. He then picks a name out of the hat. The person getting the bye is Darby Allin. He then kind of celebrates it, which was a bit weird, you know, but whatever. What else did we have? Then obviously this sets up the match between Sammy and Jungle Boy for later on tonight. Yeah. And obviously we'll get to that as well. But in terms of like promo skills, it's just kind of, it kind of felt like they were kind of thrown out there and no one's like really quality controlling these things, and they're like kind of just, you know, they're just out there, bro, for 15 minutes at the start of the show, and it's like people are just talking, like, you know. It's just it didn't make me more interested in the feud. That's just I don't want to. I don't think anyone needs to get like buried or anything from this segment. It's just kind of like it was so long, and it's like,
and it was too, right? Like where these guys are at, man. Like, you know, I think all of them have their qualities, and I'm a fan of the majority of the group, but like this was eye-opening in terms of where these guys are at. I mean, I even think I'm in the world of Darby as a wrestler, but his content here was like horrific. Like, why did he? It was so inside the way that he targeted Jack with that shit. Like, why would you do that as a babyface? You know, like Jack Perry's character on the TV show, he's like an underdog, scrappy, you know, young babyface, and Darby's talking about how he got signed because he's a California guy, and it's just like, I don't know. I think
you heard Dave talk about that lie. He was like, Jungle. He was like, he called Jungle Boy a California boy, but like that's not true because he got signed because of Cody. So it's not even true, you know. And it's like,
well, I mean, that's but like, I point Darby out because Darby, I think, was, you know, has kind of been one of the stronger parts of these segments generally, and I think 100%. We all agree him and Max is the main match. But I point out to kind of say this was eye-opening in terms of where everyone involved is at right now. I think a lot of Jack Perry. I don't think he's ready to be in this kind of spot at all. I'm not sure Sammy will ever be ready to be in this kind of spot. And that doesn't mean these guys suck. It doesn't mean they've got no use. This is not for everyone. There are not that many wrestlers in the world that need to have 10 minutes to cut a live promo. And these three are not on that list right now. Darby has shown it at times. I don't think he needs to be doing it consistently. And I don't know. I thought this was like a really bad segment. There's other stuff we'll, pick holes in, but this was actually really bad, I thought.
I think it's just like conceptually like wrong as well, in the sense of like you send them out there and like the idea is, you know, these three are going to go and take it in turns, saying what problem they all have with each other. It's like the problems that they have with each other, I think, like you said, like the Jungle Boy thing in kayfabe, it don't even fucking make any sense, you know?
It's juvenile, right? Who cares, right? It's
like
yeah. Who cares?
Yeah. I tweeted like 4 minutes in, I was like, this is very much a sink or swim segment. Yeah. And I don't think any of them really swam, to be honest. Like, yeah, they did. They sent out MJF. Yeah. And if I'm praising him, you know it's a dire situation. So it was, And I saw the super chat that said, I need Charlie to defend her Jungle Boy take. I said that I thought Jungle Boy had the best delivery in this segment. And I stand by that. The content itself,
Monty,
less to be desired.
I don't think that's a crazy take.
This is my opinion. But I thought he had the most confident delivery out of all of them. I don't know really what happened with Darby. It was a bit messy this week.
It was, yeah.
awkward.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like the delivery, the way he was saying it. It's like I get the point he was trying to make, but at the same time, like the way he was actually going on about it. Like whenever I was watching it, I was just like, I don't know about that, but yeah.
Sorry, Alexia, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I was just like about to say, I feel like they all felt like a little bit more confident, like once like, MJF showed up, which I really don't like. I don't know. It's just kind of like a point, like Charlie said, where it's like sink or swim or whatever. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. For me, this like angle really didn't do much. Like it didn't really move me or like make me like. I came out thinking like, oh, these guys are great. I mean, they are, but it's just.
Yeah, this whole story is a paper. Is a TV main event, bro. This ain't pay per view. This ain't like even from the start when everyone was like, "Oh, the 4 pillars, like this is so cool." It's like, all right, man. I just think Jungle Boy's art is depth. Even Darby to an extent, like the people love him, but it's just like things like that. It's like if you're talking about someone who's going to main event pay per views and go into a program that's going to go a couple months to then make people want to buy a pay per view. It's just I don't know, man.
These guys,
there's Sammy Guevara
on content. These guys need help desperately because they've now done this a couple times, and the first time a lot of people liked it, and that's fine. But when you're in a main event program, your promo content cannot just be, "Man, I worked really hard to get here." Like that's cool. It's a great story. You need to start like trying to present yourself as a big deal, And like some guys can get away with that. All 3 of them doing it and talking about how they were held back and there's a glass ceiling, and it's like I don't even understand what a lot of it's rooted in when they talk about the like glass ceiling in AEW. It's like all of these guys have been on the TV a bunch, it's super hollow in that regard anyway. But even if it was true, who cares? It's like tell me why you want to be the world champion. Don't tell me about why you're proving the doubters wrong. Like whatever, man. Like we're too deep into these guys running the promotion now for them all to be doing this promo. It's so cheap. It's a real shame, I think.
It's not like I said, I don't think it's something that's going to make people really want to buy pay-per-views, to be honest. And when it's executed like this and people are just thrown out there to drown, in the way that they did last night, it was bad, man. And overall, I think in a big picture sense as well, it's like this is kind of like diminishing the title a bit. Sure. I was saying to Joe when I was talking to him yesterday, in this like you're running this elite Blackpool Combat Club thing at the time when you've got MJF feuding the Pillars, which kind of feels like a side quest feud anyway. So like, let's be honest, most AEW fans are going to care more about Elite versus BCC because, like, of course they are. It's the Elite for starters. When you've got Moxley who's just turned heel, who was their ace, per se. Then that's obviously a superstar group that he's a part of as well. And it's just like they're doing these great angles and he's creative, and it's like they're throwing a bit like other pieces to the puzzle into it. Like Takeshita was introduced yesterday, and it's just. And then you look at the Pillars angle, it's like even if that didn't miss as it did yesterday, and then they went out there and Darby cut like a really good promo, and it only went 8 minutes, and it was the crowd was oohing and ahhing at all the digs, which there wasn't. Even still, it's just kind of the timing of these doesn't make the title look amazing. So
I agree. Yep.
What can you do, Joe? What can you do?
I don't know. I've got a few ideas, but we'll carry on.
All right. So, a lot of people up the depth, I think, is the best way I'd put my opinion on that. All right. So, next up we had Britt Baker, hometown girl, and Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. This was, Britt Baker got a hot tag, which popped me. It always pops me to see Britt Baker get a hot tag in Pittsburgh, because like she's gonna try, and she's like, she's gonna try. Yeah, she's gonna try to do a real hot tag, and for the most part, she did when she did it. And I thought this was not most of these Outcast homegrown tag team matches. They're pretty good, man. But it's after this one, we didn't get like the shitty angle of fucking been driving me nuts, but we got something later instead. But Charlie, what did you think of the match itself?
I thought the match was pretty good. Like you said, Britt always does her little hot tags in Pittsburgh. It pops me. It makes me. I love seeing hometown reactions, no matter what I think of the person who's getting them. So I thought like that part was like really nice. But yeah, I thought the match was pretty good. There was a scary moment with Jamie Hayter where she got slammed into the stairs, and I was like, they're not showing her. So is she selling, or has she actually just fucked something up? But I think that just tied into her not running out later when all that went down. So I think she's fine for everyone else that had clocked onto that. But yeah, pretty solid match.
Alexia, what did you think?
It was a pretty enjoyable like tag. I will say I did pop for like the Outcast like matching like little buns and the beer. But that was so cute. I was like, okay, I'll give them that. But I felt like each team like actually felt like a little bit like more cohesive, now that they actually have like a direction where we're like trying to process through the storyline instead of just coming out, spray paint after, okay, but overall, like she said the same thing about like Jamie Hayter. When I was watching it, I was just like, what's going on?
Yeah, it was a little weird. And the way that when Britt Baker got the win, she kind of just like rolled out the ring and went over to Jamie, and they kind of like scurried off together, and they didn't really show much of it on camera, and it was a little bit weird, but hopefully she's okay. Hopefully it was just an angle or whatever. But this was not bad. Joe, what did you think?
I actually liked it quite a bit. I completely agree in terms of the cohesiveness. Like the Outcast thing is never going to be the NWO, but like I actually think it's got like noticeably better as an act itself since Ruby was added. Like I actually think there's some kind of neat elements to the act. It's not groundbreaking or anything, but like I think they're actually a decent little heel group, and I think this was a nice showing for them all around. Saraya was actually like making the most of her annex outside the ring too. So I don't know. I actually like what they did here. I thought this was one of the more positive parts of the show. I thought the match was pretty strong too. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was not bad at all. Not bad at all. And I was just happy that they didn't do a shitty angle after,
Yeah.
I've been driving me nuts, bro. I know anyone who's watched these podcasts absolutely knows that by now. Right, so next up after the break, we have a promo with Wardlow, who's got himself some health. Joe, he's got himself some health. Here he comes into the frame, big fucking arm, bro.
So,
oh man, I'll pop for this. I can't. And Arn cuts this killer promo. Oh, we're playing chess now, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little spiteful when we talk about Hobbs losing later. But I will say I'm delighted to see the big man back. The Enforcer is back. Incredible tracksuit. Just the main point of his promo was like, yeah, Tully's smart, but I'm smarter. Incredible. Just the idea,
Enforcer, brother.
Like the idea of him coaching Wardlow is such an incredible bit in itself. Like with the way that Wardlow wrestles. I don't even think that's a knock. It's just funny. So yeah, this is good on multiple levels. It's unfortunate that as soon as this happened, you know what that meant for poor Powerhouse Hobbs, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. If nothing else, at least they gave Wardlow some kind of shit, something different. I
like it. Alexia, you're a big fan of Arn.
Sure.
Double A.
Sure. No, I mean, I thought the promo itself was, it's pretty okay. I feel like in the past few months, like I went from like being like getting so behind like Wardlow like the past few months. I've just kind of been like slowly just it has like nothing to do with him. It's just the booking from for me. It's just I don't know.
It's been hard to get behind him when the outcomes have been so, I guess, like not 50-50 because he loses more than he wins sometimes, but it's just, I don't know, it's just been so up and down that I haven't been able to stay consistently invested in him as a character. and it's really hindered my enjoyance.
Yeah.
Watch Brown though. I thought that was great.
Oh, there's a big problem with Wardlow, and it's his baby face. He's a baby face, and he's someone that he needs to feud the right people and not the fucking coolest people on the roster in Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. Andrew the Giant, £2 says, Monty, you fired up for Tony D's trunk match. I'm always fired up for Tony D outing. The real wrestler right there.
That's the sentence.
Listen, bro. If you don't know, you don't need to know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ibu, $4.99. AEW talk is tiring because there's reasonable criticisms to make, but people get defenses due to the bad favors and everything's way off as Doom talk. Oh,
Yeah.
bro.
Okay.
Well, I've got the podcast for you.
You will not believe.
Willie J, $5. Bojan, Detroit, Jesus Christ, reincarnated could wrestle The Rock on that Saturday show, and I'm still not giving up my college football to watch it. Well, I will.
Beast.
Bruh, $2. Need Charlie to defend her Jungle Boy. Her Jungle Boy did best take.
I did.
She did?
I did.
She
It's
did.
just my opinion.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's okay.
It's always good when you end your take with it's just my opinion.
I've done it like
Always a good
15 times tonight. Yeah, it's going great. Just going great this evening.
Most on 84 one a night. Some people aren't meant for in-ring promos. Oh, tell me about it, brother. Darren Walker, £5. Appreciate you. Had the prayer mat out for women's tag match. Okay. Because I see Britt and Jamie in Manchester next Saturday and other wrestlers at a fan convention. Oh, okay.
And I love wrestling in Manchester next weekend.
I love that Monty felt the need to insert that okay in the middle of it. Just the next sentence explained it and you still had to do it. Okay.
Mark $4.99. Jericho did more to get Outcast over and Cole as a babyface than TK has with weeks. Respect the Archo. I mean, go for it. Go for it, bro. That's your flavour, Go for it. All right. Do we have anything more? We have a Darren Walker special. Special £5. Wardlow can't do promos, so double O with him. Now it helps him. Now. You gotta check these super chats before you hit send, Darren, man. You fucked me up, bro.
He's right, though, ultimately. You can switch some words.
I get the gist. I get the gist.
Throw on Anderson, Monty. Let him cook on that one, all right, mate? Let him roll.
Yeah, man, shout out. I love him, bro.
Darren.
Yeah.
It made what happened later in the show like a lot more bearable for me. So. Anyway, then we got an MJF and Sammy Guevara deal where basically MJF bribes Sammy Guevara to get to the final and lay down and double or nothing for him.
Monty, did you just see what happened there? Monty goes, we had to have MJF, and I went, this was good, and Charlie did like the most stress sigh, having all at once. There it is. That's professional wrestling for me. I like this, Charlie. I think you did not. Would be my guess based on that response.
It's just a whole lot of MJF in it. I have a quota, and they'd already filled it. So it was just, I was like, all right, he's back, and he's got Sammy with him, which is my least favorite part of this feud. So it was.
I lost.
Well, I just.
I lost.
I lost. Yes. It was bad. It wasn't bad. Objectively, it wasn't bad. But subjectively, I was not having a good time.
That's fine. I have my own one of those moments in a minute, so don't worry about it. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, where are we at, Monty? You're right, mate. You look. I keep looking at him and he keeps shaking his head.
It's just you know what it is. You see the 4 pillars feud, like Ibu hilariously has been cooked for this for like the past 24 hours because he was at one point saying it was better than the Elite Blackpool Combat Club, and although I don't think it's main event of pay-per-view worthy, and I think it should lead to a TV main event, etc., and all the things I outlined earlier, I didn't think that they were doing that bad of a job with it. Then last night, bro, that opening, and then I didn't even enjoy this between MJF and Sammy. I don't like the idea of like saying, "Oh yeah, I'll go lie down for you, bro." You know, I don't care how much money. Then just MJF just being like, "Oh," you know, it's just no, but just like MJF even. It's just, I don't know. Again, it's just this is the world title, Joe. You know. This is big business. This is prestige that we're meant to be.
I don't know what you want me to do about that. I mean, all I'm saying is I thought the 2-minute segment was pretty good. You know, I mean,
well, you shouldn't be such a piece of shit, should you?
No, I mean, if we want to have a conversation about the quote prestige of the world's title, we can have that another time. But I feel like, you know, when
I want it now. What happened?
Let's get it. You come off the back of that Bryan match, which was fucking incredible. And what are we doing? I
can't answer that. I only endorse this 90 seconds of programming that took place.
You've gone down from 2 minutes to 90 seconds.
I think it may have been 40 seconds long. I'm not sure. I was not timing it. It may have been a couple seconds. I don't know, but it was, you know. It was
our poor soldier, Ibu, bro. He looked like a fucking maniac on the timeline last night, you know?
Already objectively wrong. And then
the thing is as well, like, if any of our guys are wrong, it'll be our own guys that are highlighting it a few days later on the timeline. I will quote tweet a tweet from 5 days ago, like, look at this, you know? So yeah, we're all family though, you know.
Yeah.
It's all jokes.
Brewood, $4.99. Alexia knows the real draw is pulling up Friday to save Rampage. God bless.
Saturday.
You know?
I can't miss him. It's Saturday.
Oh, of course, it's Saturday night Rampage. Well, okay.
That's my king.
What have we got next then, man? Because I'm tired. Yeah. Oh fuck. Anyway, okay, so we had Jay White versus Commander. Which
let's go.
You know, Jay White, yeah, he's good match. Good match. I saw someone moaning about a lot of discourse surrounding the match, but I didn't see the initial discourse around the match, so I don't know what's been going on. I thought it was just a good match, and most people enjoyed it.
People were bitching about one of the rope spots. This always happens after a Lucha Libre match on AEW television, so I just ignore it for the most part. But yeah, they were bitching about it. Was just like, oh, Jay White was just standing there while Commander was doing his bit on the rope. It's just like, yeah, they're working together, whether you like it or not. Like,
it seemed like a lot of people as well. Like normally, well, you know, we always talk a little bit of discourse and stuff on this channel, unfortunately. But like,
unfortunately,
when it's something like this, like it's normally like it's pretty like, you know, whatever. Who cares what 10 people on Twitter think? But it's like quite a lot of people, bro. Like, you know, I was like, what? You know, like, for media people and shit as well. It's just yeah, man, it was interesting. Commander, obviously, he has his style, Lucha Libre. He's one of the best high flyers around, one of the most like athletically impressive when it comes to like the stunts and shit he can pull off. You know, like he's right up there in, you know, Vikingo's kind of in his own category because he just kind of makes shit up as he goes along. He's like insane in that sense, in terms of like doing like. I wouldn't say he's like the best luchador. Definitely not. I wouldn't say Vikingo is the best luchador, but he's the most like. What's the word I'm looking for, Joe? I feel like you know what I mean.
Dynamic.
Telepathically. He's like the most like surprising and just
it's
you
like
know
the most
just
versatile. It just comes out of nowhere.
He's the craziest. He's the craziest.
Unpredictable.
Yeah,
unpredictable.
Yeah.
What's
the closest? I feel like there's
things I get asked on this show, folks.
you got there in the end, you know.
I did. I just, you know,
you're the man with the answers, bro. You know,
paid enough for this shit, man.
But yeah, shout out Commander. The point I was trying to make is that he's also one of the most, you know, unpredictable, fucking impressive high flyers around, and you know, he's gonna do what he's gonna do, bro. He's gonna get in his bag, and Jay as the heel was like trying to prevent that, and they told a story like pretty well with that. I thought Jay is just a great wrestler, you know, simply put. when it comes to like the booking and stuff, like we had like Sean Spears like throwing up like rating cards and stuff, and as soon as I saw him, I'm just kind of like, yeah. It's and I like Sean Spears, man. I think he's he's a really solid. I do. I think he's a really solid worker, and in the Pinnacle, I thought he played his role like excellently. What he was asked to do, I think he can. He's a good wrestler to have on your roster, man. But when I'm bringing in someone like Jay White, and these are the first couple of weeks I'm seeing, I'm scared, bro. I can't lie. Like I'm terrified at this point. I was a little bit worried with Bullet Club Gold when that got announced last week.
You can tell what we sit with that.
Huh?
I don't think you saw what just happened. You said Bullet Club Gold, and me and Alexia just at the same time.
The exact same time too. Like incredible.
Well, yeah, we go from Bullet Club Gold to Sean Spears angle, and
to Ricky.
Yeah, this is
Ricky.
That was so funny.
I saw someone say, but like even Tony Khan's surprised that he's got Jay White judging off the booking that he's been giving him so far. And he's just.
I think this is like kind of an introductory storyline because there's a lot of moving parts outside of AEW, especially if they're waiting on El Fantasma to come in and things like that, and if they're like just trying to fill some time before they get to Forbidden Door, if anything goes on with David Finlay and stuff like that. But I'm glad Jay at least had a really good match with Commander, and we'd be amiss to not mention the fact that Commander got signed. He is now all elite.
Of course.
So it's very exciting. TK, he's been cooking with the signings. Like the last couple have been pretty fucking good. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, he signs them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's what you do. It's what you do after. It's what you do after, really. And
I've got faith.
Speaking of which, the Jay White stuff, that's just. I don't know, man. I just think if it is an introductory feud, I just think he'd be better off just waiting. I'm in no rush to see Jay White in a program that involves like your Sean Spears and the Juice Robinsons and that other world. And like you mentioned Al Fantasma, and it's like I like him. Like I like Al Fantasma as a worker. Even when he was like, even though he does do less of it now, but like when he fucks around a lot, I know he gets like a lot of criticism for it. But like that's just kind of what he does. It's like intentional, But I do think when he locks in, he's a great worker. But at the end of the day, man, like who gives a fuck about El Fantasma? In the grand scheme of things, Charlie, I like him too. But he's not. No one's.
Yeah.
He's not.
I get what you mean.
When you bring in someone like Jay White, someone who's like been IWGP World Champion multiple times. He's a Grand Slam champion in New Japan. He's main evented the Tokyo Dome. Big fucking deal, And you bring him in, and he already just feels like. He's doing beatdowns with Sean Spears, bro. He's running off from Sean Spears and Ricky Starks, and I like Starks a lot more than fucking about 80% of this channel, But
yeah.
But even still, bro, it's just fuck, man. I'm worried, bro, because I like Jay White a lot. I think he's like one of the best talents, like genuinely, in the entire business, any company,
There's so many of their top stars currently tied up in storylines, though. Like, if you've got a talent like Jay White, signing in him and not doing anything is also like a bad idea. So at least they're doing something, I guess. But it's interesting.
It's still like they're still gonna get like at least AEW is at least gonna get criticism. Like they got Jay White, they don't have him do any program. People are gonna be like, oh, Tony just likes to sign people just for fun. Throw him in a program. It's like, oh my gosh, why are you putting him in a program? Like it's like either way, it's like.
I mean, the program could be good. That'd be nice,
Well, the core program is Ricky, right? Ultimately, which is fine. I think the bigger miss rather than the matchmaking is like the overall presentation in terms of and look, I understand folks is hypocritical as we just talked about not everyone even live promos. I think when you get a Jay White, you could probably announce a live promo for him. You know, I think a mission statement kind of deal. I think you could have rolled out the red carpet for him in a way where you basically, fuck it, take a victory after you got him. I mean, this was a big get. And I think in some ways he wants to get into the meat, you know, the actual substance of him wrestling and so on. And I get it, but I do think they could have. The week after his debut, I do not think he should have just done a 30-second pre-tape. You know, like I think it should have been like, we got the top talent in the industry, and we can't wait for you guys to see what you can do every single week. You've seen before with Forbidden Door and all that good stuff, but I don't know. I think that's where the miss is more than like who he's wrestling. It's the little things, man. It's like presenting him as this massive signing rather than just slotting him into your system. For what, you know, for his part of it, he looked superb on Dynamite. We can all agree on that much. I mean, he looked terrific and made the most of what they had for him. And that was a cool matchup. I will say the Commander match was kind of, I was torn on it in the sense that I liked it because it was like a cool, fresh thing for him to do. The only negative with it was for me was like, it's really hard to shine bright when you're wrestling Commander who does that many cool things, right? That's difficult. But I thought he did a really good job. So honestly, in the end, I didn't even have a problem with that part. But I just think sometimes Tony's issue is not so much the overall direction, it's the way he's executing it. And I think he could have emphasized a little bit more. We got Jay White, you know, and I don't think he's quite nailed that thus far. That's just my take on it. I don't know.
I think you're being too polite, Joe. You know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I don't think he's quite nailed it. Then there's like signing the biggest free agent or outside of Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, signing one of the biggest free agents that you're going to sign all year.
Yep.
You know, like you was right on with like the whole the presentation stuff is like it's really bad, bro. Like the fucked up his debut, like his re-debuts and all of these talent. Like the fucked that up. Then you just mentioned the next week it's followed up by a 30-second pre-tap that nobody gave a fuck about, you know. And then this week he's doing angles with Sean Spears. Like
I don't disagree.
This is fucking ass, bro. It's ass.
No, I don't disagree. I mean, I do think the Ricky deal is more important than you'll give it credit for. I know he's not everyone's favorite on this platform, but Ricky did just beat Jericho twice. You know, I think he's pretty high on the card. So I think that's a bit. I think the problem is having the other guys involved, and it kind of waters it down. You know, I think you're better off just having Jay White and Ricky Starks do a program rather than he's with Juice and Sean Spears is involved and so on and so forth. Would be my kind of take on that. But I don't know.
I thought the match was beast. Like,
yes.
I don't really like.
Match was very good, yeah.
Just overall, I don't know. It kept me entertained. That's usually like, I'm not a very like, I don't look at stuff and like I'm like over analyzing everything. Like I literally just look at it. I'm like, did I enjoy it? Yes. Was it good? Yes. Okay, then I liked it. You know, but it's I don't know. To a point, it is kind of like. I don't want to nitpick and like break down everything, but you know, it's not really, it's out of my hands, out of my control. I'll either like or don't like what they present to me, you know?
I mean, I'd say let's just be patient with it, but it's just, you know, I don't know, man. I
have faith.
Mm-hmm.
I need a reason, you know. I need a reason.
I'm not sure you're gonna get the reason you're looking for. Yeah. I think a lot of what this is not even so much about Jay White, right? It's more like Tony's overall approach of doing things. Because you're a fan of Jay White, you would hope he would break out of like his usual kind of way of handling a spot like this, and he kind of just done the same thing as usual. They got a little pre-tape, they set up a match, and they had the match. You know, like I think that's what to me is Monty. Is that a fair assessment of where you stand on this deal? So you wanted it to be different. You wanted it to really get a kind of grand opening. What are you thinking?
But it's like even insert him into just like he doesn't have to like completely break away from his usual like bullshit that he does, you know, and his usual like the way he plans out his shows and segment by segment, blah blah blah. It doesn't. You can just put him in a more prominent position. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, like he opened up the show when he debuted, you know, but it was very quick angle, blah blah blah. You know, it's like on the flip side, I know it's the world title feud, but it's like that Pillars thing went 20 minutes last night. You know, it's just.
Mhm.
I don't know. Then it's like he can wrestle a match and that'll go 10, 15 minutes. Of course, and we all know anyone that's followed him knows that Jay White's a great wrestler. And it's good to show that the fans that may not know him as well that he can be a great wrestler, blah, blah, blah. But it's just, I think he was right on in the sense that like, it would have been nice if like, he would have got a live promo and given, like that maybe even made things a bit easier. Like if he would have came out and he dropped a mission statement and he's name dropping like big names and the world title and this and that and the things that people want to see Jay White doing in AEW. You know, and then he goes into a feud with your Rickies and your Spears, blah blah blah, and it's like, okay, but you know you're getting eventually to here, you know. Whereas I know a lot of AEW fans will be of the thought process of like, of course Jay White will get to that point eventually, of course he will, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like I feel like you guys obviously will have a lot more faith in Tony as a booker than I do. You know, this is why I say
No,
like I need to
get it,
like
yeah, I'm with
see something
Yeah.
to reassure me that Jay White is going to be booked as the talent he is in this company. Because so far, even though we're only 2-3 weeks in, I've seen absolutely nothing to suggest that. Like not a thing, like not one little thing. So
No, I get it. Yeah, and the one thing I would say is, and we've talked about this before, actually, but this is like a good example of it. I do think, you know, once upon a time, wrestling TV featured too few conflicts. Almost, it would just be like you'd have guys would get over with wins consistently, and you'd have your kind of programs, your handful of programs. And now I do sometimes think we've gone too far in the other direction, where it's like, I don't think it would be a travesty if Jay White came in and was just presented as a massive star who just won matches, and we were waiting to see who he was going to target for a program. We were waiting to see what belt he's going to go for. You know, I don't think everyone needs to come into an immediate program, is what I'm saying. Because I think when you do that, you kind of have to balance things out. You don't want to just kill Ricky, right? Like that's you don't want to do that. So then you kind of, you know, you insert Spears so he can take a fall in a tag or whatever you're going to do. So. I think that's another thing too. Like I do think there's an argument you could have just debuted him as a massive deal and built up to this big in-ring debut or Dynamite debut, I should say, of a massive signing. But that's not what they chose to do, clearly.
Yeah.
That's not what they chose to do.
No.
I guess if anyone, I guess my final thoughts is I'm fucking petrified. You know, I'm worried about. I'm a big Jay White guy, man. Yeah. But yeah, after the match, there was the beatdown, you know, with Spears, and then Ricky comes out, you know, to save, and the run off from Juice and Jay kind of scatter from Ricky Starks and Sean Spears, and like Joe said, it's probably setting up a tag. Spears will probably take a fall, and we'll see where it goes. You know, I hope I'm wrong, bro. Like this is, you know. It's very rare in professional wrestling podcasting that you hope you're wrong, but this is definitely that kind of instance.
No, honestly, I think when the next cycle comes around, he will be featured very prominently. I don't know if he'll ever be presented the way you're imagining, which is fine. I've been there. We'll get to Powerhouse Hobbs in a minute, but I do think he'll be like a focal point of the promotion, genuinely. So we'll see. We'll let it play out, brother.
We will. We're gonna have to, you know. All right. What did we have next? Gonna need some help as we get further along.
I think we missed Wardlow and Hobbs. I'm more certain we did because that was
we did.
Yeah, we did.
Oh shit! Did we skip over?
That's just yeah. Fuck, man. You know. You know what the thing is? I really enjoyed the match. Wardlow versus Hobbs. TNT Championship. I really enjoyed like all the horse shit and stuff at the end, you know, and all the interferences and Arn getting in the ring and dropping the DDT, and it was just like, you know, it was I was fired up, man. It was I loved it, especially like the Arn stuff again, you know, but like I loved it anyway from just in general, man. Like they're just like the brawling on the outside and stuff. Like I think they really killed it, honestly, and I wasn't expecting them to like in that way. I genuinely wasn't. But yeah, man, Wardlow got the win, and that's Hobbs' TNT reign, which a lot of us were waiting for Hobbs to get that reign for quite a while, and he got it. Couple Rampage TNT title defenses. None really too notable. I think the most notable one was probably the Phoenix one, which was the first one. Yeah, man, and it's all over. Wardlow is a TNT champion, 3-time champion. He's got it again, and yeah, man. I don't know what this means for Hobbs. It's a shame, I think. Like I said, a lot of people were kind of waiting for Hobbs to get a ball to run with like this, and it feels like he's now getting it snatched from him before he could even like run 5 yards. You know, it's Joe.
Yeah, this I will concede, and I'm glad you messed up the order actually, Monty, because you could kind of fall on the sword first and get upset about professionals. This made me more mad than wrestling generally does at this point in my life. I've tried to get I just feel and again on like an objective level, I thought the match was strong. The crowd loved it. There was a lot to like here. But as a fan of Powerhouse Hobbs, it felt like we waited a really long time for him to get like anything to sink his teeth into. And the fact that not only was this run so short, it came with the QTV stuff, which I like hated. And it felt like it stripped all of the cool, like all of his everything I liked about Powerhouse Hobbs was almost like clouded by that, you know? This was really frustrating as a fan of his. Now, again, that's a subjective thing. If you don't care about that, you won't care as much. But like on an objective level, I do think the belt is an issue. Like I'm actually for the idea that anything can happen. It can be unpredictable. When you go back to Wardlow again, it's like it's just you know I don't think it's helping anyone at this point. Really frustrating. I don't know where I mean I assume Hobbs will get rid of the QTV guys, right? I guess, and that'll be like his next thing. But considering how long we waited to get this, it's hard to be like super optimistic. I mean, he was doing the Book of Hobbs thing for like 3 months, maybe. And we were waiting for like they're gonna get to the bay and he's gonna and it's like he got it, he won the belt. We all said they got themselves in a corner, and there they were. They were, you know, they're back in the same position again. So I don't know. I thought this was frustrating in terms of we all hoped they had kind of an answer, and in reality, they just went back to where they were. It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's just, what do you even say at this point? Because I feel like I bitch about the same thing about the TNT title every time this happens. Because, like you said, this is the third time he's champion. It's like it's the same 4 guys in the division. They finally got Sammy Guevara away from it, but now it's just Wardlow and Hobbs. And when they announced the match, I was just like, one of them's going to come out of this looking real fucking weak. And I wouldn't say that Hobbs looks weak, but what do you do next? Where do you go with him? There's nothing lined up for him after this, unless you just have him win the title back. But what's the fucking point of doing that? Like,
yeah,
because he didn't. It's not like Wardlow lost the title on a pay-per-view and then like he won it on the pay-per-view and then lost it like 4 days later. It's like, I don't know. It stresses me out. I don't think that Wardlow needed the belt again because it didn't fix his character last time. It's not going to fix it this time. And Christian Cage does not need to be challenging for a belt. I love him. I think he's great. But it did not need the TNT title when Hobbs benefits from having it a lot more.
Yeah, it's the whole Wardlow TNT situation is like bizarre because you had Hobbs beat him, and that's definitely something that a lot of, like I said before, like a lot of people want to see Hobbs have the ball and run with it, you know, and like it was fine. Like it felt like finally we're getting that, and it's like a lot of Hobbs fans were even like taking the QTV stuff, which they thought was pretty bad. They were just kind of taking that in stride because it's like, fuck, Hobbs is the champ, you know what I mean? Like finally he's got a ball to run with, and like he's doing the QTV bullshit, and it's just like they look ridiculous coming out with him, I think, and then he drops the title after a matter of weeks, and it's the thing is, so Wardlow, when Wardlow lost the belt. Okay, yeah, he didn't lose it clean, but you did have like a good opportunity to like get Wardlow away from that shit, you know, like get him away from that TNT title scene because it's not going to help the belt, it's not going to help him at this point. And then when he comes back and he comes back for Hobbs, it's just like fuck, you know. And they announced this match, and you're like, well, you know, they're gonna dress it up as Wardlow's hometown, which they did, and they're gonna, you know, it was quite hard to predict what they were gonna do, and in the end, they ended up just fucking putting Wardlow over, man. And now it's Charlie said it's not gonna get him over, I don't think, unless like some miracle happens, like Bill Goldberg.
You say miracle. I
do that to
do
me.
not share that
Don't do
opinion.
that to
I
me.
do not share that opinion. It'll pop a crowd, but
Not me.
But
I'm
not
sure
me.
it will.
I'm not. I am not the crowd.
Alexia, what are your thoughts on this this whole the TNT title business in general, but of course also the match?
Okay, so for me, obviously, like I said earlier, like these past couple of months, I've just been like less and less behind Wardlow, like because of like I'm just kind of nothing against him personally, but it's just like having like the same, like, you know, I guess I get it, hot potatoing the title, like, you know, going back and forth between Hobbs and Wardlow. It just hasn't done for me and like anything for me personally. Like I'm just like, all right, you know, every time like the segment with the TNT title, QT Marshall, everything comes up, I'm just like, all right, can we like keep it moving, you know? Because it's like, what do you do? Like, where do you go from here with either one? Like with Wardlow, are you just gonna have him go back to feuding with Hobbs? Or are you gonna introduce more people to the title? Like, what do you do with Hobbs? Is he gonna stay with like QT and Solo? So it's just kind of like, to me, it's like
Yeah,
kind of like a little loophole, or not a loophole. What's it called?
Just a loop.
A loop.
Just
Take the hole out. It's just
There's no hole. It's just a loop.
Just
a
a
loop.
loop.
It's like Groundhog Day with that fucking title. We're doing the
It is,
same
yeah.
shit
it's
over
brutal,
and over.
man. It's fucked. That title's fucked for the time being, and let's be honest.
And like, I
You know,
get
it could,
it's a TV
yeah.
title and they get ping ponged around. It's like, but don't have it be the same 4 people, 5 people all the time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Wardlow's been involved with this title for like 7 months, and he's had it 3 times, and none of the reigns have been particularly great. Like,
memorable.
it's not done anything for him.
No, there's a good way to like. We've seen it this year. A good example of when you hot potato the thing correctly. The Joe Darby thing was great.
Yeah,
You know, I had no complaints about that because of the way it was executed and the fact that, to me, them trading the belt back and forth for those couple months elevated the belt because the matches were great and they were compelling and it was a great dynamic. And it's like, it's not just a case of, as you both said, it's not just a case of the belt being hot potatoed. It's the fact that it feels like we're just going in circles. It's like, does anyone need, like, even if you're a big Wardlow fan, do you want him back with this belt? Like, why would that be the thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bizarre.
I like Wardlow, and I think his
You do.
booking has been like really bad in terms of like playing to his strengths and not really like you could. I feel like they had something that they really could have gone with, and now that's like completely like gone. Like it's gone. You know. To be fair, like I know that like it's semi-local to his hometown or whatever, where he used to wrestle there a lot or whatever the fuck. But like you know, we got some good reactions last night.
He did.
And you know, he's the champ again now, and it's just how they build on that. Christian again, it's like they keep putting him with heels that people just like really enjoy.
I'm not
you
sure.
know,
I think Luchasaurus is the match though.
maybe.
Which
Is he still not wrestling because of the whole like fucking
I
name
think he's
thing?
back now. I don't know.
I, mean, I don't know. Has he been mentioned by name yet?
I don't know.
Because there was that weird stuff with his name, wasn't there? That he was getting sued or
Yeah.
something because of his name, and you can't, like, they can't call him Luchasaurus. Like, what's
Wait, what
going on?
With his name? I don't think I'm caught up with the
I don't
lore.
really know.
There's is it like a game company or something like that? They must have their own Luchasaurus, basically. And there's been like a whole legal back and forth with them and AEW about like, you know, how the usage of Luchasaurus's name and likeness and blah 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 blah. So I doubt that's been the reason he's been off all TV all this time. I'm sure he was injured or some shit. Do you know what I mean? But
Chat
Oh,
saying
there's
it
a
was
mask
because of
or
the mask. Yeah,
his mask. Okay,
that's even more bizarre. Whatever.
I know. But wrestling is just a weird thing when it comes to like these
So
copyrights and
strange.
you know, fuck knows, man. Right, so we have got a few super chats that I want to fly through. Bam $5. He says, put the belt. I think you meant to say put the belt back on the GOAT Kenny Omega already. So glad to see Charlie and Alexia on the pod again. GOATs. Joe and Monty, you already know how I feel about you two. God bless. Feels like an attack, but I'm sure it's
you
not.
put a
You know?
hugging emoji, so
Is that what
Oh,
that
is
is?
that the hologram?
Oh,
It's
cool.
square to me.
Shout out the brother Bam. Pedro, 199. Happy Commander is all elite. Viva la raza. Shout out Commander.
Very happy for him.
C Yonsei, 199. Can we fast forward to when the Golden Lovers reunite?
Ideally.
Beast. I'm sure I've missed out.
what about with the
One sec.
Something went off in my background. It confused
No, I
me.
mean I just went. Yeah. Anyway, we missed loads of shit. Though. I don't know what I was cooking earlier. Mavs fan 84, 199. Spears chairman gimmick was great, underrated.
Yeah.
I mean, the entrance was certainly something.
I
You know?
did
I
enjoy
get
it.
You remember when he would cut like the promo in remember the chair room?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's when it was like, all right, calm down, you know. It's like,
God, that feels so long ago.
Yeah.
come on, what is this? Bruh, $2. Monty, would BC Gold beating FTR be good to you? Absolutely not.
I'd like that.
I like that
What do people do this shit to me, man? You know,
That's fine.
what did I do to deserve this? You know, on my Thursday night. It's like we're in overtime, and
Yeah.
I'm trying my hardest here. You know.
Yeah. Keep looking at your notes and shaking your head. Like,
Alright, so I also missed somehow the best
The
part of the show,
FTR?
in my opinion.
Jeff
The
Jarrett.
elite in-ring promo.
Yeah.
And you know, they come out, Wayward Sons, all that good stuff. You know, I love to see that entrance every time. Kenny Omega, he's looking serious, he's looking somber. You know,
He has eyebrows too.
yeah, man, he's
Good stuff.
he's locked in. He's locked
Good
in.
old
Alexia.
Lena Kenny. That is
He's
area.
Yeah, and he cuts a promo about like how he wants to sell this like man and all the back and forth and all the people that have been hurt, people sent away in ambulances, families been hurt, blah 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 blah, and it's like, you know, calls them out basically, and no one comes at first, and who pops up on the screen? Bryan Danielson calls them a bunch of amateurs. They're all amateurs. They're amateurs, and then the Blackpool Combat Club, Moxley, Yuta, Claudio, the sneak in the ring, attacking from behind, brawling, they're going back and forth. They're getting the shit kicked out of them at points. Nick Jackson was going crazy, like he was wrestling in a pay-per-view match. He was just fucking diving all over the place. Tony needs to give him a match, bro, because he's got.
It's like he's chomping at the bit. I really thought they were going to announce the Nick Claudio match for Rampage. I was ready for it.
Yeah, man, I'd love to see that. I love Nick Claudio. But yeah, he was a really good brawler as well. Like I said,
Yeah.
Nick was flying all over the place, the brawling all over the place. People are hitting big moves left, right, and centre. I love like brawls that have like a chaotic feel to them, and they definitely captured that with this.
That was doing the Northern Light suplexes with like 1.5 arms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. And then it's like when it's cut into someone in the crowd brawling, and then it's cut into this and that. Then Nick's flying across the screen, and it's like it was good shit, man. And then obviously the elite are starting to they're starting to get their asses beat. Brian starts coming down to the ring and he's talking about amateurs, and he's doing that whole thing, and it's looking messy for the elite. It's looking especially messy for Kenneth, you know. And Don Callis goes to come out with a chair and he gets halfway down the ramp and he's like, "Fuck this," you know. He turns around and he runs off. He runs off. And immediately, as soon as this happened, I was like, "Who's he gonna bring with him? You know, who's he gonna go and get?" And eventually, he comes back with none other than Konosuke Takeshita. He runs down. Don's dragging him down, and then he eventually runs down to the ring and he clears the ring. He makes the save, and you know, it's all good vibes, happy days. Don Callis then jumps into the ring as well, and he raises Kenny's and Takeshita's arms. Kenny kind of looks a bit skeptical about it, as he has been pretty much with everything with Don Callis lately. And Takeshita's in the fold of this feud now. Obviously with the Elite, we'll see how long that lasts. Man, like I said, I thought this was like a really, really solid brawl, and I liked it. It's my favorite part of the show. Charlie, you are the Elite law
Yes.
analyst, reporter.
Specialist.
Can you tell us what can you tell us what these latest wrinkles and what this angle may mean, and what are the things the Elite law enthusiasts are speculating about now?
So I still think they're teasing the Kenny and Bryan match, like their second match, because I don't think it was a coincidence that Kenny was cutting the promo and it was Bryan that interrupted him on the big screen. I know they're both like the spokespeople for their group, but like that just kind of makes it feel more like that's going to be the first big match that comes out of it. It did surprise me that they didn't set up a Rampage match, because I'd been saying all day Nick's going to get a Rampage match and it's going to be against Claudio, and then they paired off in the Raw, and I was just like, okay, they're going to announce it for Rampage, and it didn't happen, and I was like, fuck, why are we not doing this yet? But with Takeshita coming out, I had said previously that he was going to join Blackpool Combat Club, and I stand on that. I still think that it's a red herring, and that's how they're going to get Hangman back in with the Elite, because they're going to be three down to 5, so they're going to need someone, and Hangman's going to make the save when Takeshita turns on Kenny in a tag match or something. That's what I'm anticipating. That's my
heel Takeshita sounds very interesting.
I think it will be interesting because he doesn't really cut a lot of promos now anyways, but obviously with Bryan being the spokesperson, and they had each other's back in the MJF feud and all that. So there's like, they have the previous ties of loyalty, and I know obviously Takeshita has always history with Kenny, but I think that people are saying that Don Callis is going to turn as well. I'm not too convinced on that, mainly because I don't want Don Callis associated with the Blackpool Combat Club, so that might just be me being biased. But I definitely think Takeshita's going to turn, and it's going to be within the next couple of weeks. And because I had said that Hangman was going to appear during this segment, and then he didn't, and I think that's probably why, because they've done this red herring move. But yeah.
So if Hangman's number 4, is Ibushi number 5?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, why does it still seem that Ibushi's trying to get into contact with like Tony and stuff? Because that seems to be the vibe that is going on right now. I don't know, man. It's
I don't believe anything that wrestlers say on Twitter, to be honest.
especially him,
I don't know what he's talking about. I think that's how the storyline's mapped out, and Ibushi's going to be their 5th person, and he's just working on Twitter probably better than 95% of wrestlers do. But yeah,
I don't know.
It'll be great. It's going to be,
as long as you don't upload any more weird videos,
That was so funny.
That was a weird. That was a weird day.
It was like really early in the day as well, and I was like,
it wasn't even so much what he was doing. It was the breathing, like the soundtrack to it. Like it was
so
interesting Twitter post to Kota Ibushi is,
Yeah.
Yakuza. Yeah. Shout out Ibushi, man. Tremendous. Charlie, what did you think of this big brawl? No, not Charlie, Alexia.
I was going to say, I just spoke for 5 solid minutes.
Wait, no, Charlie. Wait, me. Hold on.
Yes.
Okay.
You.
I thought it was really fun. I really enjoy, the part where he like takes out the screwdriver.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. And just like, I should have like, I blanked.
Kill you?
Yeah, that. But I also really enjoy heel Blackpool Combat Club. Like, I love how much of a little shithead Yuta is. Like, he's finally like, it's finally like all those people are like, oh yeah, he's boring. Like, okay, maybe he is, but not so much. I don't know. And then like just Claudio just fucking picking up. Was it Nick?
Yeah,
That
it
was
was
awesome.
Yeah, that was dude.
just the gut wrench suplex. It was just launching him about.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I thought the whole brawl was like really well done because you know how there are some like let them fight and stuff, but like it's not. It just looks kind of weird and like very like structured and like scripted. This one it just felt like an actual like oh shit like looking everywhere and stuff. But I personally was really big fan of this, especially like Takeshita coming out because everything is better with Takeshita.
Oh, of course. Okay. Zaid Nadi, $4.99. Monty, I hope you're holding up with Cody's loss. It took me 2 weeks to recover. Ibu's well-being I worry about, though. Hashtag SummerSlam 2023, the story finishes.
God bless.
I mean...
He's not holding up.
He went on a 10-minute rant about Jay White like 20 minutes ago. I think that's just enough.
Unfortunately, since this super chat was sent, we have found our answer is not.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if he said it on the air, but Ibu was like, the Wembley announcement got Monty for a week or so. Patched himself up with it. We're going to Wembley. Sat himself down to watch some more grabs. Said, this shit fucking sucks. He couldn't do it anymore. He's backed in, man.
Listen, I've always get my little pops on every show, whether it's NXT, whether it's Dynamite, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. I'll find something on every show that pops me. But in terms of like overarching like big angles, the Elite Blackpool Combat Club stuff is very good, but I haven't connected with it in the way that, say, an example like for Charlie, it's good shit, but there's nothing. None of the big angles in wrestling right now like really fire me up. Like none of them. Like even like Cody's like chase for the title now that he's lost at Mania. It's just like it's not. It's not the same, is it? The Rey Mysterio, the Rey and Dom stuff still fucking rules, but it's not like that's a world title program, But Zayd, I'm struggling, brother. I'm struggling. Ibu's cut, He's cut.
Sure he is.
He's writing long tweets about MJF and fucking the real Ricky Starks $1.99. I only want Ibu as my partner. He's a perfect 10. Yeah. Showtime Spurs $5. It's no problem to hot potato at all every once in a while, but this is like the 4th straight TNT program where it's happened. Hurts everyone. Agreed.
Yes.
55222 $5. It's a TV title. It's supposed to hot potato. Look at the history of other previous TV titles. This generation is just not accustomed to it yet.
They just stopped doing it well. That's the issue.
Yeah, it's all you can see.
It's nothing to do with the hot potato.
As an Arn Anderson stan, I'm famously unfamiliar with the history of television titles, so generational thing,
Zora Hart $5. My toxic take is a roster that has Jay White and Swerve as mid-carders shouldn't have its premier TV belt on solid guys like Wardlow or Hobbs. I mean, there's definitely a discussion to be had about that sort of thing, but it's like if you do that, then how do you elevate people? It's like you don't always need titles to elevate people, but it's a pretty tried and tested way of doing so. If you get it right, you can definitely elevate people. So, look at Gunther, for example. Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to think of a mid-card title that's been booked really well and elevated someone. It's like a lot of especially us guys on screen, like a lot of us like online fans, like we all knew about Gunther Walter. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's amazing. But like coming up to the main roster, it's a different world up there. So they've really done a really great job of establishing with that title. And I don't know, man.
I'm intrigued. Okay, so Monty, am I wrong in saying that on your personal? This is not me, fans. I'm just guessing where Monty stands. Would on your personal big board, Swerve would be below Wardlow and Hobbs, wouldn't he? He's really thinking this one over. Really mulling it over. I'm glad I asked. Now, this is apparently the most interesting question Monty's had thrown at him for months. Look at the consideration.
Okay, so I think Jay White is in a completely different stratosphere to like Swerve, Wardlow, and Hobbs. You know,
Right.
Personally, for my preference, I'd go Hobbs next.
Go on.
I just think there's something there, you know.
Keep going.
Then you know, Wardlow might be cooked, but we'll see, you know. But you'd have to put Swerve above him right now, you know. But he's the TNT champion, so it's like he's probably above all these people right now.
I was very close. I thought I had you on the right. I thought I had a good read on you there, Monty. I was very close. It's a shame, but we'll circle back to in a couple of weeks.
Listen, man, I don't lie about these people, bro. You know, I may not be as high on Swerve as some other people. I don't see him as a future world champion or anything. Maybe even like the person in the comment was suggesting. But he's still good, you know. Like I don't think he's ass or anything. He's you know, it's just he's Swerve, isn't it? You know. Alright, a few more super chats. Brainbuster, shout out Gulch. $1.99, appreciate you. Shout out.
I love Gulch.
Madfan 84, $1.99. Ibushi Bryan will have wild hot head, neck bumps. Yeah, of course it will. Absolutely. Very scary times.
Yeah.
Ibushi's like you ever heard Meltzer talk about like when he spoke to Ibushi about like how he like bumps on his neck? Like he must have spoke to him after like one of the Naito matches or something, unsurprisingly. And he was just like, oh yeah, apparently Ibushi was like, there's like a way to do it, you know? Like there's a way to land on your head, you know? Like,
oh yeah, I'm sure.
These people are insane, bro. Like,
dude.
Like, there's a right way to land on your neck, you know? It's good.
Okay, so I went to spring break and Bloodsport. So actually seeing like Ibushi that up close, like seeing take that fucking like a bump off onto the like the table or like the door off the ring, that was terrifying. Like I was literally sitting there and I had never flinched that hard at a wrestling like bump. Like I was just like, that man is insane. The way he just got up and I was just like, what? I don't know, but that was just crazy. I can't imagine how that match, the Ibushi Bryan match, will even look like. I don't even want to think about it. I just
stressful.
Yeah, I just hope Ibushi's all healed up. You know, because he was fucked up, man. You know, he was fucked up. Then obviously, like even the matches that he's had back, it's like I know he went like 20 minutes with Janela, but like going 20 minutes with Janela is very different to going 7 minutes with Bryan. You know, like it's a very different match you're gonna have. So, and obviously the speedball match was literally like 6-7 minutes. So, I still haven't really been able to get like a real read on where he's at. You know, so. I do want him in AEW though. It always feels like the natural fit for him at this point. You know, it's coming like you know, come link up with the boys, man. All right, so now we're gonna skip forward because I missed things, and we're now like back to where we was originally. FTR promo is then interrupted because they're showing video footage of Mark Briscoe getting beat down by the Trustbusters. That he's being checked up on in the locker room, and FTR bursts into the locker room. That he's with Team Jarrett and co. And yeah, man, Briscoe apparently he's not cleared, so he can't go and get payback. So they have to, you know, it's now down to FTR and Team Jarrett, who are going to be linking up this Saturday on Rampage, I hear, versus the Trustbusters. And this is some Alexia Graps, isn't it? You know, this is
what? Sorry.
This is some Alexia highlight stuff right here. You know, like, this is the stuff Alexia would book on her wrestling show. You know.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yep, exactly. Every single wrestler. Yep.
Yeah, all these guys.
All these guys.
Especially Cash Wheeler. Great guy.
Can we all agree though? This was the execution. This was like hilarious in the best way. The fact that Renee waited until they were on screen for like, "Hey, your best friend's got the shit kicked out of him, by the way. Want to go
His
fix
video
that?"
footage.
Yeah, she literally. Can you have told him before? And let me be clear. I don't mean as a credit. To me, that's the kind of whole shit that makes wrestling work. You know, it's ridiculous, but it's part of the game. But yeah, fun.
Custodian Brian Pillman Jr., American Okada, 109. If the BBC need me, pause. I'm always there for backup. Pause. Appreciate you though.
Thank you, Custodian BPJ.
Absolutely, always shout out the gimmicks we got going on. All right. Adam Cole, Jericho face to face. Okay, so Adam Cole's obviously not very over because he's got that good baby face for at the moment. He's just coming back from injury. A lot of people have missed him and stuff, and the crowd just like really happy to see him. He's still got like that vibe about him, the happy to see him vibe. So glad he's here, big star, etc., etc. Obviously Jericho is Jericho. Everyone knows that by now. And like at first they're going back and forth about like respect, and Adam Cole was talking about like how he admired Jericho, etc., etc., and like how he modelled himself after certain parts of his career, and etc., etc., and how he wanted to be just like Jericho, and he's always respected him, and he wanted to start off by saying that, and then Jericho returns that by saying he means from the absolute bottom of his heart that he has no respect for him whatsoever, and then they go back and forth making digs about each other. And then Cole brings up how he's always got his lackeys around him, etc., etc. And they get into each other's face. Jericho pushes Adam Cole. Adam Cole starts to beat Jericho up in the corner. Then the JAS jump him, starting off with Garcia, and they're jumping Cole, kicking the shit out of him in the corner. Then Britt Baker comes out. Crowd pops huge for it because, of course, hometown girl. Second time we've seen her on the show. She comes out, she drags Jericho away from him, gets in Jericho's face, and even slaps Jericho. But as this is all going on, you can see the Outcast. They're sneaking into the ring, and it's not looking good for good old Britt. Adam Cole's fucked and folded in the corner, and the Outcasts attack Britt Baker from behind. Then both of them are getting beat up, meaning Britt Baker and Adam Cole. They're just both getting the shit kicked out of them. Adam Cole gets his handcuffed to the rope. He's struggling and he's trying to fight off, but he can't do nothing. Britt Baker's getting the shit kicked out of him in the middle of the ring. And Jericho grabs the kendo stick. Looks like he's going to hit Adam Cole, but no, he gives it to Saraya. Was it Saraya or Tony? Yeah, it was Saraya. Gives the kendo stick to Saraya. Saraya then wails on Britt Baker, whilst Britt Baker's screaming in agony. Adam Cole screaming like real soap opera stuff, make it stop, make it stop. Britt Baker shouting Adam Cole's shoot name in the middle of the ring, which popped me. There's some real Hollywood acting going on here,
Wait, she did?
Yeah, she was in the middle of the ring going, Austin! I was like, fuck it out, man. It was very dramatic. It did get quite a lot of heat. It was, it worked. And that's, I guess that's all you can say, really. Like, it worked, and some of the acting, I'll laugh at it and stuff. And, but at the end of the day, like I said, it got good heat. It worked. But, Joe?
Yeah.
What did you think, man?
No, I think that's the best way to do it. I thought the promo segment part of it was good. I like the promo. I thought Cole was real strong in the promo. I think you nailed it in terms of like, it was a good idea and it worked ultimately because the audience response to it was encouraging and it was the right place to do it and so on and so forth. So it's a positive. Definitely not, an award winner in terms of execution necessarily. And it was. I appreciate what they were going for. I thought they got close enough that it hit. Definitely not, definitely some moments in it I wish I could erase. The aforementioned yell of Austin being one of them. I will say that I don't know if this is like Adam Cole was a babyface. It was apparent to me watching him in this spot that this was like a test for him, a challenge for him as a character. You know, this was kind of a different spot for him. It's one thing to be like a cool shit talker as a babyface, but here he was attempting to be sympathetic, and the crowd bought it. I didn't think it was his finest work, but look, they're not actors, right? They're wrestlers ultimately, and it's like the crowd give them the response they were looking for. Did I laugh? Yes, but that does not necessarily mean it was bad.
Did you cry?
Well, I did laugh a lot. I don't think I got quite that close. I don't know. The Austin was very good. I mean, that was incredible. Just the idea of Adam Cole being a fake name in itself is funny. Right? That's just like a funny thing. You know, I was watching with my dad, and he was like, "Who's Austin?" I was like, "It's Adam Cole." I don't know, man. What do you want from me? You know, but yeah, I mean, it was good. I guess.
Yeah, man.
I guess that was my conclusion. I don't know.
Alexia, did you enjoy Britt Baker's acting school?
What I will say is that I did kind of, I guess I did kind of like how they intertwined like a little bit of like the Outcast, like Britt Baker, like storyline with the JAS, Adam Austin segment. Because I felt like it, like we said earlier, like the women's tag match, it did feel kind of like the storyline progressed like a little bit. Like this one, like to me, like this angle just kind of made it seem like a little bit more, like I guess personal, more like towards like instead of just like aimlessly, we're the outcasts, we're spray painting stuff. Like it just kind of made it, to me at least, it felt a little bit more like with. Like we have a point to prove. We're here to do this, kind of. I don't know. That's like I did kind of like. I'll give them that, but this segment really wasn't for me. I didn't really particularly enjoy it. I was just like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like I was just so.
Yeah, fair.
I was just.
Yeah, Charlie.
I thought it was okay. I liked that they did something different with the Outcasts, and I don't know whether this is just me reading too much into it, but the way that Britt was like shouting Austin, like using his shoot name, and the way that Saraya was laying the shots in on Britt's back, it felt like they were kind of referencing some of the All Access stuff, and it got me thinking. It's like, I think Thunder Rosa's coming back soon, and she's going to be involved in this storyline. I think that's kind of what they're hinting at a little bit. I also just tend to read into lore things a lot, so maybe that's just a me thing. But the promo itself, it was great. I thought the promo was pretty good. But yeah, the angle after, I'm just glad they're actually trying new things, and it's not just the same shit every week.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. That's one of
I definitely agree on the crossing the angles over too. Like, I'm glad you brought up Alexia, because that is something I think they could do more of, where the idea of the show feels like one thing rather than just like individual segments. So yeah, I'm with you on that too.
Yeah, man, it wasn't bad stuff. Then right, next up we had the Daddy Ass Trios. So we had Billy Gunn.
This show feels
Billy
so
Gunn.
fucking long.
There was so much that happened.
I know there's nothing. We ain't really got to go too much over it. It's just it happened, I guess. So we had Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed versus 2.0 and Jake Hager, and it was like if the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn lost, they had to join JAS or something like that. Of course, they didn't lose. I don't think anyone actually really expected them to lose, and I think this kind of hurt the match. Being in the middle of the second hour never really helps too much. But also just. I don't think the crowd ever really bought that there was a chance of the Acclaimed even losing, so it wasn't even that heated either. But the match was fine, I guess. Has anyone got anything they want to say about the match at all? It kind of just happened. So
It happened.
yeah, it happened. And then in the main event we got Sammy Guevara versus Jungle Boy, of course, as part of the 4 Pillars tournament that was set up at the start of the show. Winner, of course, faces Darby Allin. Yeah, man, there was some cool high spots in this. It's I don't think it's the best match that they're capable of, to be honest. I thought there was like a few little dull spots and stuff, but even still, there's still, it still was pretty decent match, I guess, Like I said, there was some really cool high spots, like that destroyer that Jungle Boy hit was like really impressive. Crowd loved that as well, but obviously MJF, of course, he's made his deal with Sammy Guevara. He came out and he gets involved for the finish. I think he hits him with the diamond. He hits Jungle Boy from the crowd with the diamond ring, I think, and Jungle Boy obviously gets laid out and he's counted out. So yeah, that's how the show ends. MJF and Sammy Guevara celebrating, hugging, and raising each other's hands and fucking loving it, and best of friends now. And Jungle Boy's been fucked out of his title opportunity, and I didn't think it was the best finish, to say the least. But this is the route to going down with this world title story, Again, we spoke obviously in kind of like broad strokes about this storyline earlier, so there's not too much more to say about it other than like this is another hurdle where I thought, I didn't really like the outcome, like with the finish and stuff. So, but nothing against the actual performance involved, because I thought Sammy and Jungle Boy they've done all right, Joe, what did you think?
It was absolutely the match that you would expect them to have, for better and worse, right? The positives and the negatives of that. There's definitely like a little bit of a lack of connective tissue when you have guys like this wrestling, because they're just kind of waiting for their next big spot, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is ultimately. The crowd were not exactly rocking for this at the first bell, but they did enough cool shit. They got them. I didn't have a problem with the finish, to be totally honest with you, Monty, because I thought the bump he took before it was like spectacular enough to kind of to get away with a count out finish. I get it. I get why it's not be for everyone, but like I appreciate the fact that it wasn't just as simple as Sammy threw him out to the floor and they did this. Like that bump he took was an incredible spot, right? I mean, that would have been a fine finish in its own, quite, if it wasn't a main event. So I liked it. Yeah, it's not a match I'm really rushing to go back to, and I do agree with you in terms of they probably have a better one in them, especially in front of a different crowd. But I liked it. I mean, I'll say this: we've talked about the four pillars thing up and down all night, but I think we all agree that when they get to this eventual match, it's going to be tremendous, right? I don't think there's any doubt about what they're going to do in that situation. It's just whether you find it compelling. In the ring, these guys are going to deliver almost every night, and they did here, I thought. So yeah, I liked it.
So do you think they're going to do the fatal four-way, or do you think they're going to do the single?
Yeah.
There'll be more shenanigans.
I think there would have been a clean finish if they wasn't doing the fatal four-way.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Yep.
Okay. Charlie, what did you think of the main event then?
I thought it was pretty good, like up until... Like, I didn't mind the finish. It was just
Until
the fact
MJF
that it
again.
was more MJF. Like I'd already gone over my quota for the show, and it was just like, fuck, he's here again. And they had that over the top celebration in the ring after. I was like, all right, I'm done. Turn the telly off.
Yeah,
I'm going
that was
to
a bit
bed.
much.
Like,
Yeah. They were really
was-
healing it up there. Yeah.
yeah, they were just going for it. I was like, what are we doing? But yeah, I think they probably held back a little bit because of the eventual Four Pillars match on the pay-per-view, and they're going to go all out nuts in that. But yeah, I think I like the fact that they're doing matches to build up to the pay-per-view. Do I think this was the best way to do it?
Look at this.
Yeah, I just saw that. Thank you, Delight. I will catch that match.
This is...
That's hilarious.
There's no standards around here anymore, you know?
Could you let her
Alexia,
cook?
did you enjoy the main event? Did you not enjoy it? Did you hate seeing MJF again? Where were you at? You know?
I thought the main event itself was like pretty good. Like you said, like that they probably were holding a little bit back. Plus, like I feel like Pittsburgh really isn't, or maybe it was just me, but like my audio was really bad.
No, the show was mic'd really bad. Yeah, it was a problem. Yeah.
And it was just throwing me off. I could not focus.
We had a friend there, and he said that the crowd was like really loud live, but it did not translate.
Yeah, it did not, and so that was just kind of throwing me off too. Like, plus, like you said, like I feel like they are gonna do the Fatal 4-Way, and also, it's kind of funny to me, at least, how they're doing just a 3-person tournament. Like,
yes,
literally just 3 people.
Yeah.
But I feel like it eventually is going to lead up to the 4-Way, just because, like Charlie said, like if it was supposed, oh my god, if it was supposed to be only one person, it would have been like a clean finish. But I feel like at some point, like, you know, one of the guys is going to get cheated out of it, and just like MJF interfering like with the matches and stuff, you know, it's going to be like leading up to the 4-Way in some way, because it's like he just keeps getting himself involved and not letting them like have the opportunity to cleanly like go over and stuff. So it's
the 3-person tournament thing. It's always, honestly, when he mentioned the 4-person tournament, I was expecting like someone to just get thrown into the mix, you know, like just someone who could get beat, you know.
Just the 5th pillar just arrives in the middle of all this.
But you could have thrown in a fucking, I don't know, like who, you know, people do like the pillars and the killers. Like you could have just like thrown.
Lee Moriarty comes out.
Bro, honestly, I think that's better than just being like, oh, one of you gets a buy.
Then
the person that gets the buy is the babyface. Like he's one of the baby faces. Yeah. He's then like buzzing to get the buy, which would be like a heel, which was like a heel move. It's
that was rough.
Darby's whole performance, where I don't know how much of it was told. I don't know how much of it he was told to do, or how much of it was him. But his performance in that whole first 20 minutes, that's what it was.
Dude,
it was something, man. Which is, I think Joe said it earlier, man. It's like Darby's promos, like so far in this feud, have been like, oh, it might have been Alexia. Like, he's been quite strong, you know. Maybe a bit too insidey at times, especially last night. But his delivery and stuff has been like really strong, you know. But he's
I literally texted Charlie
over the place yesterday.
Yesterday, I was like, dude. I was texting her like at the very beginning of as like the show was going on, and I was like, Darby's little woo! I was like cracking up. I couldn't. I was just like, what the fuck was that?
Someone must have told him to like celebrate it, right? They must, because the way he did it, almost like he was like parodying it almost, you know. It's so weird.
Darby's whole thing is like, he'll just wrestle anyone. So why are you celebrating not having a match?
Right.
I didn't.
Max being like, we're going to draw names out of a hat, and everyone's like, okay, cool, that's what Tony wants. Like, what? Where's this? Why are we doing this? You know, it's bizarre. I don't know.
Although, honestly, like, even though it's just joking around, it's like fucking throw Lee Moriarty or someone out there, man. Have someone eat a pin, you know.
Yeah. Get someone a TV match that needs it. Like,
so it's not like Darby. It's not like Tony hates booking Darby singles matches on Dynamite. Yeah. He does it all the time. You know, it's like just fucking having beat someone. You know, who else would have like at least like slightly legitimate, like, you know, call right about now? You know, he could have. I don't fucking know, man. At this point, I don't care either. You know, but and that's when you're truly defeated, ladies and gentlemen. Please like the video.
This is
no, just no. You know what? There's one little thing I want to talk about, because we did mention it before, and it's like I've got Ring of Honor on at the same time, and I'm just making sure that we don't miss anything too vital. And at the minute, unless you're Charlie, you're not missing anything vital at all. So you know, whilst this Lee Johnson Cole Carter versus Dark Order match is going on, I want to talk a little bit about this Mercedes interview that she done with Sports Illustrated. She touched on one of the big quote that went around was about how she kind of like responded to the rumors of a contract being up soon, even though Dave did kind of go back on that and say that she's in talks to extend it. But of course, she was, referencing the previous report saying the rumors are far from the truth. If it's not coming from me or More Voice, then how does anyone else know my business? None of it's true unless it's coming from me. It's just a reminder that I'm a conversation starter. This is my new home. I'm embracing the way of life. I'm riding the train. I'm eating food. I'm not here for a quick second. have a kitchen with my partner, but when I go out, I eat yakiniku. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's amazing barbecue, but basically she kind of just talks about how she's immersing herself in the culture over in Japan, and it's a second home now. She's committed to staying there, making history. Yeah, man, it's always kind of like what I've wanted her to do. I've said it many times on many podcasts now, but like when Mercedes became like a free agent when she walked out of WWE, it's like I always wanted her to go over to Japan, blow up Stardom, do some cool stuff with New Japan. Obviously, this was before the IWGP title was even like invented. But yeah, it seems like she's she was putting on her Instagram story that she's looking for somewhere permanent to stay and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, mate, looks like she's doing the full Japan run, people.
Yeah.
What are we laughing at now? What is this?
Just the privacy. Yes, this interview was real graps.
Yeah.
I personified in
What
every
is
which
happening?
way. All time great reason to be muted on stream. All time.
Yeah.
But yes, this was
Right.
tremendous. Tremendous stuff. A star wrestler acting like a star.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about. Charlie, what did you make of the Mercedes quotes?
I liked the fact that she was so candid, but she did it in character. I think she maintains a really good balance of that, of like giving the answers people want to hear to questions that are being asked, but not breaking character to do it. I don't feel like a lot of wrestlers can do that well anymore. But she nailed it in this interview. But yeah, I'm just really excited to see what she does next. It sounds like she's not stopping yet, and there's a lot to come. So it's going to be a good year. I never really thought that she was going to go back to WWE like that quickly, but this has given me a lot of confidence that she's definitely in for the long run.
Yeah, I hope she is, man, because she definitely can. Like, if she's used regularly enough and she's used, properly and presented the way that she should be, which she has been so far, she's been doing some cool shit over there. She's obviously working with the top star, literally the eight. You could argue that Mayu's like the ace, and that's like who she's having a big match on the big show with. Julia's now mentioning her name in interviews and stuff. So, we could hopefully they can really get cooking with her and they can really blow up Stardom even more because, if one promotion deserves it, I think that they're the promotion that deserves it because of the groundwork that they did whilst the pandemic. They were the only fucking promotion in the entire world that was growing and going from strength to strength during the pandemic.
MLW.
Wow.
Well,
Listen,
I didn't
we'll
say
never get those 2018 days back, brother.
No, you're absolutely
The 2018 days was special, brother. Mercedes also popped me with the way she was like, I'm not just the best women's wrestler in North America, I'm the best in the world. I'm not just the best women's wrestler in the world, I'm one of the best wrestlers in the world. Throw me up there with Kenny Omega, John Cena, The Rock, I'm going to be one of the best wrestlers ever. And I mean, Alexia or Charlie was just saying about how she draws a faint line between her character and who she is, and it's always pops me because sometimes she can just be ridiculous. I'll never forget the quote on the Stone Cold podcast about eating steaks with Vince now. She's the boss, man. She's the CEO. She's
CEO,
yeah, man. We all love Mercedes here, I think.
yeah.
Shout out Mercedes, man. Do you think she shows up on AEW yet? Or just maybe Forbidden Door?
Maybe Forbidden Door, yeah.
Maybe Forbidden Door. But I think she's going to be very focused on her work in Japan at the moment. If she does sign an AEW contract, I don't think it happens this year.
I guess we'll see. I mean, if Tony can and he's not, then we gotta ask some questions,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure we will.
Oh, that's a different story. Yeah, if it's that way round, then yeah.
All right. Is there anything else that anyone wants to talk about before we get out of here?
In regards to professional wrestling, I think we've pretty much we've covered it.
Yeah.
I do have a plug, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. Okay, you can get your plugs in.
All right, mate. in about 70 minutes, if you've enjoyed this joyous, triumphant wrestling conversation as much as I have, then you can join me for another 3 hours of this whole shit on the Late Night Grin Twitch channel. In 70 minutes, the last ever
Wait.
weekly late. Thank you. The last ever weekly Late Night Grin. You were doing. I was thinking, is someone at the door again? I was like, I was looking. I was about to attack me or something. I was
putting the wrong way. I'm sorry.
That's what I appreciate it. But 70 minutes from now, the last ever weekly Late Night Grin. We don't know what comes after this. This is not the end, but it's the end of an era, so to speak, right? So if you want to see more of this shit, then join us there. I understand if not. This has been very long. We've experienced this together. We're praying for Monty. We're rooting for him. We hope that everyone leaves this as well as they entered it. But nonetheless, I'll be there over on the Grin Twitch gimmick. So maybe I'll see some of you. I don't know.
Darren, £2. Money Indie News on EB Sunday show.
No.
Maybe this Sunday, we'll see. Ebu's just ask Ebu, bro. I'm sure you follow him on Twitter. He'll respond to you. He'll recognise your name. He's got love for you, Darren. So pressuring people at him, and telling him to hurry your show. The
girls might be back this Sunday.
Yes.
All goes to plan.
We may have an ACA podcast on Sunday, possibly.
Acapod.
Yes, Acapod.
Stars have a line, and we all have some free time.
Yeah,
yes.
So you have to look out. Either Charlie, Anna, or me, or all three of us will make a tweet out within the next few days But Sunday, we're aiming to get back on track for that. So.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Our 6 weekly pod. It comes every now and then.
Good stuff, man. It's good stuff. All right, so that's another thing we got to look forward to. And everyone, please like the video if you're still in here. But those of you who have stayed with us, we appreciate it very much. But please do like the video if you have done. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate all the super chats as we always do. And tomorrow we'll be on Purist 6 p.m. with the usual crew, AO, Rob, and Rob, Chris, and of course Marcus. He's also been added to the weekly lineup. But yeah, man, that's what we're on tomorrow. Shout out on Purist. Make sure you don't miss that because it's always it's certainly different, It's different to most of the wrestling podcasts. It's good shit, man. It's good shit. But yeah, shout out on Purist. Shout out Charlie, Alexia, and Hulbert, I guess. Shout out Late Night Grin forever and ever.
This is a dramatic night for me, Monty. This is not the time for these kind of shots. We're united tonight, brother.
All right, man. All right, okay. Catch you all tomorrow, and peace.